Alright guys, today I'll be teaching you how to solve a 4x4. And we're using this cube, not this one. Goodbye. The method I'm going to teach is called the reduction method or redux. So I'm going to explain how it works as I teach it. So let's get this thing scrambled first. Alright, so first we want to start with any center. I prefer the white one. So we can just solve the center with an algorithm. So the algorithm I use is really simple. So it's just r wide, which means you do this, and then u, and then r wide prime. So what that does is it moves a center from here to here. So what we want to do now is put this one right here and this one right here because we want to move this here, right? So we do that algorithm like this, and that'll make a bar. A bar is where like two centers touch each other. And then we want to move this one here, and then we can do it like this. And then we find the last white centerpiece, which is right here. But this one's a center away from the one on the bottom. So what we want to do is actually put the r wide. Instead of the r wide, we put r wide 2. So the r wide prime will also turn into r wide prime 2. So you do this, which is r wide 2, and then you move it back, which is u, and then you do r wide prime 2, which will finish the white center. Now I'm going to put the rest of the centers in time lapse, but so it basically works the same. So I'll put this one here by doing this out. So yeah, time lapse time. Oh, and also one more thing. If you're doing other centers, it doesn't have to be correct. Just like their relative position has to be correct. So blue has to be opposite of green. But the other centers, we'll fix that later. So if this is blue and this is supposed to be orange, but you accidentally put red here and orange here, it doesn't really matter because we can fix it later. And alright, here you go. All of the centers are now done. Alright, so before we actually get to edge pairing, I just want to talk about like what this is actually doing. So like what the goal of this method is. So if we actually take out a 3x3 right here, we can see that there are edges and corners and centers. So what we want to do on this 4x4 is make this one center, make this one edge, so that these are the same like edges, and then this is a corner. So the corner doesn't change, but the centers we already finished, and the edges are what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to put this out of the way right here, and let's get started on edge pairing. So what you want to do is get one edge right here and another edge here. So you see these edges have the same color. So this is yellow, red, yellow, red. So we want these two edges to be on different slices or these. So this one is on the top slice and this one's on the bottom. So what we want to do is slice them together so that they are a pair right now. And then we see this is white, blue, and white, green. So we see white, blue right here. So we want to move white, blue. So we move this out and move this in like this. This is pretty much intuitive. And then we want to match this with this. So we slice it back. So now this is also paired, so we want to move it out. And then this is also paired, but instead of moving a random edge in, we want to see which edges are the same as these. So we see these aren't the same and these aren't the same. So we just move something random in. But before we do that, we see this one's yellow and blue, this one's green and white, but we see yellow and blue right here, so we can just move that in. Why not? And then we can pair again. So you keep on doing this until you finished all the edges. But something might happen that is something like like this, where this one's red and blue, this one's red and blue. They're the correct edges, red and blue, red and blue. They're the correct edges, but they're on the same slice. So if I do this, it actually moves the other one out. So what we have to do is flip both of these. So the algorithm we're going to do is going to be displayed up on the top of the screen, wherever that is, I don't even know. But so the algorithm is like this. And that'll flip both of these, or move this one here and move this one there by flipping it. So now we can see that this, you can just slice it over, and this will match. And you continue doing that until all of the edges are solved. But until all of these are full and all of these are full, the middle slices have nothing to replace. So what do you do from there? All right, so now we see, oh, this one isn't solved, is it? So now we see all of these are solved, so the top layer is all solved, and the bottom layer is also all solved, or this is the top and this is the bottom, but that doesn't really matter. But we see the centers are messed up. But if you followed all the instructions, the centers can be solved with one slice. So all you had to do there was, like, for every R move you do and a U move, you also have to do a R move back, which is R prime. So yeah, you just have to follow those directions. So after that, you finish off, and now all of the edges are solved, which shouldn't happen, but I'll get rid of some solved edges for you. Okay, so now we have edges that are messed up, but like before, we actually skipped a step, which is the last 4 edges. But so for the last 4 edges, we want 2 edges to be on the same slice. Now, why? Because when we slice and then flip and then put it back, so after this is flipped, it'll actually be here, and when we put it back, it'll match. So what we do is slice over, so this takes that spot, and then you do the flipping algorithm and move it back. This will solve one pair. We see this is also solved, which is a coincidence. And then we see this and this, right? So like we did before, we're going to do slice and then flip and then slice. So that will solve all of the edges. All right, so now we're going to solve this like a 3x3, so yeah. But when you're putting this corner in, you might notice, like, why are the centers switched? Or why does this corner not go in? Like I said before, the centers might be switched. So this might actually go here, and this might actually go here. So the algorithm to solving this is going to be displayed at the top of the screen again, and I have no idea where that is again, but it's pretty intuitive. So you want to move half the center up, switch it, move it down. And then you want to move the top and the bottom, and then you switch it again. This will actually switch this center with this center. And how can I tell that's right? So you just solve as normal again, but you'll now notice that this corner actually goes in correctly. So yeah, I'm gonna solve the rest of the 3x3, and so you can actually use any method you prefer to solve the 3x3. It doesn't really matter, but if you might notice, this never happens on a normal 3x3. So there is one edge that is correct, or one of these that are correct, but all of the others are scrambled. That doesn't happen on a 3x3. So what we can do to fix this is OLL parity. The algorithm will be displayed on top, and I'll demonstrate it right now. So what you do is this, and then you turn it to the bottom, and then do this. And then you use your other hand and do this, and then use this hand, or your right hand. And then you lift it up, put this block back in, and then you do U2, and then move it back. That might not be the best description, but you know, the algorithm is on top. And then you can solve it normally again, and yeah. But there's another thing. So sometimes, like this is actually normal, so we can actually just solve it like this. But sometimes there isn't a normal case. Something like this after you solve everything. Or you might get something else more of like this. If you know PLL, then you know this isn't a case that you can normally solve like this. So what you're gonna do is, you can memorize all of the 4x4 PLL algorithms, but if you don't want to do that, then you can just do the PLL algorithm from any angle you wish. And then you'll get a case that you know how to solve. And this is one of the A perms, so yeah, that's it. That's basically how to solve a 4x4 using the reduction method or the redux method. Why does this feel like a 2x2?
Please subscribe to my channel down below and smash that like button if you want more videos like this one. I will be looking at the comments for my next cube tutorial.